Hello, welcome back to Chewed Gum. It is Tuesday, November 4th, and I am Alyssa Ljub.
And I'm Taylor. I don't know why I paused there.
Every time
every
time I do like the podcast, the Line has a podcast in case you didn't know, or anytime I do this show, I feel like I don't know that anyone is ever like super fluid with the intros. There's always a delay. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
For sure.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I have been busy trying to do more YouTube, and so I did a what? Go ahead.
I noticed, and I saw a video that you posted about it was like one of that like crazy movie and you watched it for the first time.
Yeah, God's Not Dead.
Yes. So I started watching it, and then my boyfriend was annoying and I couldn't finish it, but I can't wait to finish it. And it was already so good. And I was like, yes, Taylor.
Oh, thanks. No, yeah, I really enjoyed it and it did really well and I was really proud of myself. So yesterday I watched God's Not Dead 2. I decided I'm going to do all the movies. And it was a lot. I literally wrote 9 pages of like what I thought about it and then I filmed it today, but it is so interesting. Did you know that two of the main characters in that movie is the woman who played Sabrina the Teenage Witch? And yeah, I know. It's horrifying.
How did they get her roped in this?
Devastating. I don't know. And then her lawyer,
right?
her lawyer, have you ever seen John Tucker Must Die?
Yes.
Literally John Tucker is her lawyer.
How did they okay, these are like not cheap people. Wow.
Well, I don't know if like their career stopped there or not, because I haven't really seen them in anything else. So I don't know if they just hadn't had something for a long time or what compelled them to do it. But yeah, that was like a giant shock.
That's so bizarre. I can't remember the name of the girl who did Sabrina. That's so funny.
People are putting Melissa Hart is her name.
Melissa Joan Hart. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so weird. And
it really is.
So this movie is about this kid whose professor is like I'm like in the like typical atheist of like fuck God. Like that's like the persona I guess that they've created. And
Yeah.
then the kid has to like convince other professors that God is real. Is that what it is? Or that God is not dead?
Yeah, like, basically oh my gosh, it's so corny. Like, he makes the whole class be like, "Right, God's not dead on a piece of paper to get this graded, like, you have to do it for me to, like, give you like, a grade or whatever." And I'm like, "That's so ridiculous." But anyways, the Christian college student is like, "No, I can't do that." Which, like, understandable, but, like, why would a professor ask you to do that? Anyways, then the professor's like, fine, then you have to prove God is real or something. And it's just like the most ridiculous thing. At the end, long story short, he like presents arguments to the class. They are not good. Shock.
Uh-huh.
And then he like wins the argument because he gets his professor to admit that he believes in God, but he hates him for killing his mom when he was 12 years old. And it's just like
Oh
it's
my
very much the
God.
stereotype of like atheists aren't just not convinced, they hate God because they're bitter, angry, like hateful people. And then he gets hit by a car. The professor gets hit by a car, and then like dude, I was gonna say you should watch it. No, you shouldn't. It's so bad. He gets hit by a car, and so then there's like
Oh,
a pastor happens to be there, and he convinces him to get saved before he dies. It's really emotionally manipulative. Like it's really bad. It like very much preys on like people's fear of death. It's really sad. But yeah,
holy shit. That's
that's the
crazy.
overall.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that is on Taylor's YouTube channel. Is your YouTube channel also Skeptical
Yes.
Heretic?
Yes.
Okay.
Skeptical_heretic is what it is.
Um, yeah, I was so excited that you put out like long form content. And also, I saw in the beginning you were like, "Sorry if I sound congested. I'm literally allergic to my guinea pigs."
I am. I'm so allergic to them. But
It's
like
so
I love them so much, but I also have to like film a lot of content with them because I do
yeah,
that and I'll do like brand deals with them and stuff, but then I hate it because then I'll film this stuff, the hype of stuff, and I'll like sound like this like almost 50% of the time. It's so annoying, but
that
it's
is
not their fault. I'll
so
deal with
funny.
it.
That is so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah, get
I
that done
probably
earlier in
should
the
do
day.
that so I can
Um,
be congested
it's
later.
so good. Well, I missed you last week, and I saw some people in the chat like, "How's your face?" I was just telling Lux and Taylor that I got micro needling done, and you know what? When other girls get micro needling done, their faces are like a little red, but it's fine. I looked like I had an acid burn. Like I looked so scary, and Jimmy just kept texting me like every like hour or two, and he was like, "And you're sure it's not an allergic reaction?" And I was like, "It's not. It's not allergic." I just looked really frightening. So I had
Are
to
you
bail on
happy with
last
it
week.
though?
I don't feel like it made that much of a difference. But apparently you have to do it like, I don't know, a couple of times to really see results, which is like, that's how they freaking get you. That's how they get you.
No, yeah. I feel
Um,
like that type of stuff and chemical peels, people have to get like like I don't know, like 6 of them or more to like have a
yeah.
big difference.
Chemical peels freak me out. I don't want you to burn off a layer of my
Me too.
skin. Fear. I
I
don't
like
like
would
that.
do it. I would do it if I wouldn't have to show my face for like a couple weeks. But like
Yeah.
if you show your face, you like walk around looking insane. Like the chemical
Like
peel makes you
truly
look
insane.
insane.
Makes you look insane.
Yeah.
Um, Anywho, this is Chewed Gum. We talk about purity culture things, deconstructing things, and you are welcome to call the phone number at the bottom of the screen, 720-619-2288, or use the web link that's in the description. We do have a couple of lines that are open, and usually they fill up around halfway through the show. So if you want to call today, get your call in now. And we typically prioritize theist calls. So if you are a theist and you would like to talk to us about um, religion and God and things of that nature, please feel free to call and we would love to chat with you. Um, we will read super chats of $5 or more at the end of the show. And, you know, I think that's it. Did Andrew call last week?
Yes.
He did?
And wait,
Wow.
what happened? Lux ended it. Ended the call.
Really? Like hung up early?
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
like 18 minutes.
Oh wow. That's long.
Andrew was saying some whack stuff. I don't even remember what it is because it all blurs together for me, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Always does.
yeah, it was
Well,
fun times.
I'm glad you got your Andrew fix for the week. We'll see what goes on today. I did not get to vote for Mom Donnie today. Someone asked in the chat because I'm not registered in New York City anymore. I'm registered in like the suburbs of New York, and I'm really sad about it. If I could have, I would have, and I'm anxious about tonight, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win.
Yeah, I think
And we're
so
gonna
too.
have a
And
good situation.
I loved seeing those videos of him at the club. He's like always
Love.
on a side quest. And
Always
it
on a side
is really funny.
quest. He just did a video with my friend Teffy, like on her social media. It
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
the two of them talking, and I'm if I get to see her sometime this week, I cannot wait to ask her how that experience was. I'm gonna be like, so, and
That's
does
so
he smell
cool.
good?
She's so lucky.
I was like
I
freaking out
think
a little bit. It was
low-key,
very
I think
cool.
he's so fine, but that's just me.
No, he's super cute. He's super cute. And he's so smiley. It's like this like
I
like
know.
he just like, and he'll say the most diabolical shit to Andrew Cuomo's face, and then he'll just be like,
I know.
it's
I
so
love it.
good.
I love his energy. It's so good.
It's so good. All right, so we do have some calls, and we have a Theist who is waiting on the line. Are you ready to start taking some calls?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. We're going to pull in Greg, who's calling from Illinois. Okay. Greg, can
Hello?
you hear us okay? Hi.
I can
Hi,
hear you. Can you
Greg.
hear? Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right. Well, how you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Okay. And what did you want to talk about today?
I just had a quick question for you guys. Do you guys ever experience nihilism? And when you went through the process of deconverting, because as I understand it, most people on the line are former Christians, and I'm assuming that applies. I know that applies to Taylor, and I think it applies to both of you. But was that ever a concern when you were in the process of deconverting? Did you ever was that ever like a thought, or did that ever give you pause?
Um, Taylor, do
Are
you want to go
you
first?
can you like ask the question again? Are you asking like if I am a nihilist or if I think about nihilism, or what was the
Fair.
question?
I guess was it a? Well, I guess that is. You know what? Maybe I should have opened with that. Are either of you nihilists right now? I just kind of assumed you
Yeah.
weren't. That was a weird assumption on my part.
No, I consider myself a nihilist.
I don't know if I do, because I think we can like I don't know, because I think we can find meaning in life, but I don't think that life inherently has meaning. So I guess I am a nihilist.
Yeah, I feel like
Okay.
when people say they're nihilist, it's automatically seen as negative, but to me it's like a neutral
Yeah.
term that's literally just like, oh, there's no inherent meaning. That doesn't mean that you can't like have your own meaning. I think a word people use for like more positive nihilism is a absurdism, but I feel like nihilism works too because it's neutral in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, go ahead, Greg.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, so I've only ever heard it used in a negative context, and I guess I'm just realizing right now that I have a pretty strong preconception of how do I put it of not being able to imagine what it's like to believe in that. Sorry, I'm struggling how to articulate. This has set me back quite a bit, which is fine.
No, you're okay.
But
Can I ask why you
yeah,
think it's negative?
well, I guess I'm questioning that now, and I'm sorry if this is like a really basic question, but I mean, to me, if you believe that there's no inherent purpose, how is that not depressing? And I mean that not in a combative way, but in a, and I'm sorry if this is like a really low level question or something. But I feel like how is that? I guess okay. So I guess my real question is, how do you not believe that there's any purpose in life, but like you're still obviously you're not like depressed about it or anything. Obviously,
I don't think that
yeah.
I don't think that there's no like that people don't have purpose. But I think that I think that there isn't like a secret code that we're trying to crack that gives us meaning, that we were put on this earth with a specific meaning and then we have to like follow the yellow brick road until we find what that like set meaning was for us. I think that we find meaning because because human beings are social and we create really beautiful relationships with one another and we're able to enjoy so much of life, like music and art and nature and all of these things, and so we find meaning, and I kind of feel like that's even better in some ways because we are we are finding our purpose or our own meaning as we want to define it, and that's sort of like the ongoing thing. And then also in the chat we have some people talking about how Forrest calls it smilism, which is how he I guess has like a positive spin on nihilism, and it's kind of like there is no meaning, and thus you can do whatever you want. And I remember once, I wish I could remember who was explaining to me. Oh my god, it was the person I went on a date with, and he was awful. But he did say something really interesting to me, which is that he at some point decided that life is basically a video game and you are trying to like get to these new levels and whatever, but all of it is, as long as you're not hurting other people, all of it is like ethically neutral. Like being not having money is morally and ethically neutral. It doesn't make you a bad person. Having a family or not having a family is the same thing. It's like all of these little choices have no real moral or ethical value unless obviously you're hurting someone else or yourself. Um, but yeah, you basically get to do whatever you want. So that's kind of fun to think about.
Also, Greg, I want to mention that, like, when I talk about nihilism with, like, I don't know, other ex-Christians or people in that community, I'm very transparent about the fact that it has made me very depressed in the past. Like, I'm someone who's like always suffered with depression, and it made me spiral a couple times when I was first an atheist, because a lot of my hope, I guess, hinged on this fact that there was this thing I believed was a fact, that there is always a plan and someone's always in control, aka God, and like there's gonna be an afterlife where I'll see my loved ones again. So it was obviously a really hard thing to deal with and to grieve, I guess. But where I'm at now, sometimes it can make me a little sad. Sometimes it can make me feel good, because I'm like, we get to, yeah, like a lot of what Alyssa said, we get to decide where, like, what our purpose is and what we want to spend our time doing. And now I'm at the point where I think believing in stuff like heaven and hell is way worse than nihilism. So, like, if those were my two choices, like an afterlife or non, I think I would always choose non, unless someone could describe to me an afterlife that I can't even think of an afterlife I would want to go to, I guess is what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
So you had depression even as a Christian, and then that depression it temporarily worsened sometimes, at least when deconverting before you
Yeah.
eventually. But now that you've gone through that, overall, if you could choose between a model where there's no afterlife and a model where there is some kind of afterlife, you would prefer the model where there is no afterlife. And this isn't even speaking to whether or not an afterlife exists, of course, or like trying to make evidence for
Right.
does it exist or does it not. You would prefer that there is no afterlife.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess maybe I misworded my question a little, or if I could just rephrase it or retweak it a bit. Was there, how do I put this? Did you have like this, I don't know how to word this. I'm sorry. Did it feel like you had a lot of structure as a Christian, and there was a concern that moral structure, without it, you would, like, I don't know, I don't want to use the word lost. I don't even know what I'm quite asking, guys. I'm completely sorry.
I think something that makes religion really attractive is that it gives us like answers to a lot of questions that we have as human beings, and it feels good to think that we have the answer to something. Like, because death is really scary, the thought of like dying is really scary, like all of this stuff, not knowing what your purpose in life is can be scary. So I genuinely believe that's like probably the main reason religion was created, to answer like hard questions or like theorizing maybe on certain things. But damn, I just lost my train of thought. That's okay. Go ahead, Alyssa.
I think I also lost my train of thought. Hold on a second. Wait, what were you? Oh my god, you guys.
I'm gonna blame myself on that.
No, we're all, you know what? We're finding it. We're finding it. It's coming back to us. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say similar to Taylor, I've always dealt with issues. Oh, actually, okay, I do remember what I was gonna say. I've dealt with issues with depression, anxiety, like that kind of stuff. I suspect it just runs in my family because many of my other family members experience the same thing. I never felt comfort in religion. I felt more guilt than anything, and so it didn't feel better to me to have that like as a form of support. That being said, like my parents are still very religious, and they find a lot of, solace and support in their faith, and whatever. If it works for them, it works for them. It didn't work for me, and it didn't feel true to me. But and we have conversations pretty often with people with theists about the moral compass that you should be getting from religion. And I think that what's interesting about that is a lot of like the kind of like 10 commandments, like at the very, very base level, it's stuff that I think we kind of can gather without the Bible telling us. Like, we know not to kill anyone. We know that lying is bad. Like, we know these things. And I think that while it might have been helpful as a tool to share, rules of living kindly with each other, and maybe like what the consequence is if you're not going to do that, like that sort of stuff. But it doesn't feel that much different than when you tell a child a nursery rhyme and they explain the same thing. It's like I can find other ways to demonstrate kindness to one another that don't involve the attachment of this like huge other thing. You could even read the Bible and say literally all of this is metaphorical and we're just learning some lessons from it, and that is a completely different thing than believing in God and believing that all of the Bible is true and really happened.
Okay. That's fair. And I would say that, I mean, you hear stories, and you probably have some callers say this, you hear stories of people who, when they deconvert, they become depressed and everything. And, but I mean, that doesn't mean that's not going to apply to everybody. And in regards to morality, without having like you just said it yourself, like we inherently know that it's good to be good to each other, even with or without the instruction manual. of the. Now I'm losing my train of thought.
I also think it's interesting too that we
Alright.
see a lot of people who
Yeah.
are deeply religious do things that are completely against the 10 commandments or what. I mean, like, if you look at what's happening right now in our political landscape, we have Republicans who are peddling Christianity like crazy. And, the most direct example is taking SNAP benefits away from people. And we know that there's a whole story about Jesus taking fish and loaves and, distributing them to tons and tons of people. So it's like, yeah, sometimes the stories that you read in the Bible are used to demonstrate good behavior and good community building and how to be kind to one another, but it just as easily is used as a tool to, manipulate masses of people into thinking that that being evil to one another but doing that in the name of God is also okay.
Yeah, something I wanted to say about that. I would, and you guys would probably agree with this, I would imagine, but I guess different Christians take different percentages of the Bible literally, and even the most evangelical Christians don't technically maybe take 100% of it literally. And like you just said, there's some picking and choosing going on here. And one thing I wanted to apologize to you guys real quick about is I've now kind of promised myself that I'm going to stop saying that God is beyond comprehension or that heaven is beyond comprehension, because it is such a cop out. Often when you guys would back me into a corner when I was more argumentative, I would use that quite a bit. And sorry for that. It's got to be kind of annoying. But doing that has, and trying to operate from this new position that you're not allowed to just say he's beyond your comprehension, I've found myself taking less and less of the Bible literally. And so, like, I can't even justify heaven and hell in a literal sense. And so it makes me feel like I'm not even Christian. You can still be a theist, but it's just been kind of like, it's kind of a weird, but I guess I see what you're saying. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like each time I call, I know like a lot less, and
No,
I've never struggled this
it's
much. So I apologize for a botched call. Um,
no, not
anyway,
at
go
all.
ahead.
All of
Sorry.
these
Um,
calls.
Luckily, you two are very articulate. I should just say, luckily, you two are extremely articulate. So where I struggle, you guys have been filling in for the sake of anybody watching. So I appreciate that.
No, of course.
Go
And
ahead,
I've
Alyssa.
always said, I've said for people who call and feel like either nervous to share what they want to share, or like similar to the experience that you have where you're like, oh, I thought I knew what I was going to talk about and like not really. It ends up it always ends up being valuable, if not to you, to somebody else who's listening who might be in like a similar, like, you never know who's listening either live or like when this video gets saved down, who needed to hear exactly the conversation that you had with us today. Even down
Yeah.
to you saying like, I'm actually sort of like, the landscape of all of this is getting sort of, it's changing for you, it sounds like. And that, even that alone, knowing that, your ability to share that is awesome, and you don't know who that is going to be helpful to. So definitely, anytime we have these calls, they end up being really helpful. So don't apologize.
I also wanted to add, Greg, that I don't know if we've had this conversation before, but that is exactly what happened to me, where I was having a hard time with the Bible because I wasn't accepting that answer anymore of like, God just works in mysterious ways, so like it's fine. Um a lot of the stuff in the Bible, I started reading my Bible more, and a lot of the stuff I was reading was really bothering me, and it was getting harder and harder for me to like justify it to somebody. And like, because I would watch when I was like in this phase, I would watch a lot of debates, like atheist versus Christian. And when the atheist would say something, I would be like, I literally don't know. But it wasn't just, which is fine, but it was like to every single thing they said. If I wasn't allowed to like kind of say, well, it's just, beyond us. And that made me think that, well, first of all, I no longer believe the Bible was true. So in my mind, I was like, if the Bible isn't true, there's no really point in trying to please any kind of God, because if there is a God, I have no idea what they want or what the goal is or, you know, anything about them. So I kind of felt like there was no point. But that's also why, I mean, I say all the time, there could be a God. I'm not saying there absolutely isn't, but I feel like if there is, we know nothing about them or nothing about that entity or whatever. I feel like there's no way that the Bible is like tells us that. I just don't believe that.
Well, I would say that some of what you described is kind of familiar. And to be fair, I guess I had at least some doubts before I started calling. Yeah, the reason why I started calling to begin with, I wanted to test things and I don't know, just see where it
Right.
goes. And I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't throw the baby. I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater yet, especially with theism versus Christianity in general. But yeah, I've been watching more
Yeah, and you
debates
don't
as
have
well,
to.
actually. Yeah,
I
and
feel like
none of this
sometimes
stuff
people
has to be. Go ahead. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, sometimes I
go
feel
ahead.
like
Sorry.
people feel all this pressure. I feel like sometimes people feel all this pressure when they're in this in between stage of like, oh, I have to hurry up and figure out what my label is or what I am. And I feel like the
Fair.
best thing I did during like those time periods was like just block a lot of people out and find out stuff for myself. Um, and yeah, I keep losing my thoughts. I hate this. Why am I doing this today?
I'm
Um,
because I'm
what was
contagious.
the last thing I said? I don't know.
No, Greg.
Gosh dang. I
But you
hate
don't have to
it. I
decide.
had a lot
You
of
don't have to
thoughts.
decide.
Oh yeah,
And I
no, yeah, you
yeah.
don't
Yeah,
have to decide. And I feel like to push yourself one way or another is like not being fair to yourself. So I would just say that like don't let anyone make you feel like you have to know or that you like have to make some kind of decision
yeah,
because you literally don't have to.
yeah. And I would just say, yeah, you're right. I would say that labels are overrated to a large extent. I don't know if they're overrated, but at least in this context, they are. And I would say, I mean, to anybody else who goes through any of these kind of things, just maybe just don't, like you said, don't feel pressure one way or another, but just maybe on a day by day basis, make the best effort that you personally can to just be honest with yourself and be like intellectually honest with yourself, and just take it, and then wherever that goes, wherever it goes. But to just try to do that every day, and that goes for everybody, right? I mean, I don't care if you call yourself an atheist or call yourself whatever, just try to do that, like you said,
Right.
and not feel pressure. But well, anyway,
Right.
thank you
Well,
guys. I enjoyed all the calls, so appreciate what you guys do. Um, and I think you guys might sometimes be a little too nice, but you guys let me get away with a lot, so I appreciate that. But I hope you get some good calls
it's
tonight.
because you're sincere, Greg, and I think that comes out. So I think that's part of the reason we're nice as well. But yeah, call back sometime also. Whether it's, next time or like months from now or whatever. Just yeah, don't be afraid
Okay,
to call back and let us know how things are going and how that journey's
I
going for
appreciate
you.
that.
Because yeah, because like Alyssa said, a lot of people go through that and it's a very lonely process for some. But yeah, we appreciate your calls. Thanks for
Okay,
calling.
I wouldn't want to do it normally because I'm thinking it's the point of the show is like these debates with these, theists and that kind of
I
stuff.
mean,
So I
we
didn't
do
think it
do
would be
that a lot.
appropriate to call
We
separately.
we
But yeah,
definitely
yeah,
do
right. That's
that,
like kind of
but
the point of the show. So,
we definitely do
and if I
that,
don't
but
have the,
honestly, it's really nice. I was actually just having this conversation with Promise yesterday. Eve was framed, Promise. Where we were
mm,
saying that sometimes the debate stuff like is sometimes it feels like a nice outlet where it's like, okay, now I get to talk to this person who is this like figurehead of the things that I'm against, and I get to like share exactly how I feel and really have it out. And like there's a part of that that feels really
yeah,
good, but it also feels really, really nice to have conversations with people who are not totally on the same page, but like just have a normal conversation. Cause the whole internet is so fucking crazy right now that it is
this is
really
true.
nice. It's really nice to just like have a conversation and not have it be, psycho mode all the time. So we like the debates too, but it is really nice to have like a little mix of both.
Yeah, as much as we like
That's
psycho
fair.
mode, we like regular mode too.
Yes.
I've experienced some of those cathartic releases watching you guys. So,
Yeah.
or anybody, or especially, with Matt or, those kind of people. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. And then the only thing I was okay, well then in that case, then maybe possibly down the road, I don't know. But I appreciate that that's okay. Then I might. But so yeah, well, and like I said, I don't. That's why I didn't want to call in because I'm thinking I don't have the gusto or whatever to come in and throw down the gauntlet. I just don't have it in me. So. But I hope you get some good calls of a variety of kind then for the rest of the night. They're all the ones you're looking for. Good, maybe a good mix of both tonight. Hopefully, so.
We always wish for a
Hopefully.
good mix of both. Thank you, Greg, so much for calling, and call back anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Aw. Love Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Lots of love for Greg in the chat. I feel like Greg is like 6 months away from being like deconstructed completely, but we'll see.
I know, and I hate saying that because like I also because I literally have said that too, and then I just like tell him it's okay like not to go one way or the other. But like I said, that was literally exactly how I sounded right before. But
Yeah.
everyone has their own journey, I suppose.
Totally. And it's like, and part of what's nice about, I'm going to use Forrest's phrase, smileism, and thinking that like you really can do whatever you want in this life. And like, if that means that you believe in God, but it's not the version of it that you thought you believed in, whatever, who cares? Like, literally do whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Exactly.
And,
Right.
and you're putting yourself in like a safe situation. Do whatever you want.
I agree. I agree.
So we do have some lines that are open still, and we would love to get more theists calling in. So all of the brave theists I actually saw some brave theists in the chat actually. So I would love to have you call in.
Come on, guys.
Always so brave everywhere else. So call in. There's the number at the bottom of the screen. There's a web link. And we're so nice. So call in.
Yeah, you heard it. We are so nice.
We're so nice.
but they also heard we love psycho mode, so maybe that's why they're not calling. But that's okay.
Sometimes we need a little bit of
Call
both.
anyway.
We need a little bit of both. And for the rest of the week, we do have more wonderful shows. So I'll read the schedule. We have The Hang Up tomorrow at 6 p.m. with Matt and John Gleason. We have TACIS on Thursday at 2 p.m. with Arden and Meffy. I don't know who Meffy is. That's a great name.
Mama Mephistopheles. She's a TikTok creator, a trans woman who speaks in Texas legislature.
Okay. Oh,
well,
cool. I have to write that down.
I will need her TikTok information.
Since I'm a TikToker.
Yeah, you little TikToker. Then we have Cus I Wanna.
No, I'm just kidding.
Cus I Wanna on Friday at 6 p.m. with Seth and Forrest. And then 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9. Okay, Sunday. Jesus, the Sunday show at 2 p.m. with Matt and Eve. Later on Sunday, we have the 7 p.m. Sunday show with Forrest and Aaron. Is it Aaron or Aaron?
It's the normal one.
Okay, Aaron.
Oh yes. Okay.
Think of that Aaron thing. Skip.
I know it. Listen. I've been gone 1 week. I'm off my game, guys. And then we are back on Monday for Skeptalk at 6 p.m. with Seth and Aaron, and then Tuesday, Chewed Gum again, Taylor and myself, and our voice of God, Lux. And that's our wonderful schedule. So there's lots to. Oh, okay, great. We have that Mama Mephist. Okay, well. Mama Meffy. I am really excited to check out her TikTok. Anyway, we have lots of lines that are open. We would love to have more theists call in, but while we are waiting for them, let's pull in some of the wonderful atheist callers that have been waiting so patiently. So we will pull Joe in, who's calling from Australia. We love Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
How's it
Joe.
going?
It's going good. I'm a little stressed out, but that's because I got a lot of shit going on. That's exciting.
Okay. That's great. That was going to be my question. Good shit or bad shit? That's great.
Yeah.
So I
so,
see you wanted to talk about reaching men and mental health and all that kind of stuff. So share with the class.
yeah, so I called in because I think it was 2 weeks ago, Alyssa, you um, asked people to email you if they had any ideas about this.
Yes.
And
Yes. And I've gotten so many really, really lovely emails, by the way. And I think I've answered all of them. I might have like one or two that I need to answer. So if you're listening to this and you did email me, I appreciate that very, very much. And everyone is always welcome to email me for this topic and other things. Continue, Joe. I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. Emails are good. So before, I want to give a very slight preamble before I go into what I think helps reach out to these men. Because what I'm going to be saying is going to be opinions. It's going to be based on observations and anecdotes. There might be like scientific evidence behind what I'm suggesting, but this is purely based on what I've seen working in the men's mental health space. I wanted to make that clear so that if there's like evidence that contradicts anything I say, I would say go with the evidence over what I'm saying. This is just what I've seen going on.
Okay. Lay it on us.
So I'll start with what I think you, Alyssa, could do with reaching out. Because I've noticed when you talk about this, it's like they're not. We're talking about like how will they even listen to you, and like rather than having the conversation of who you can reach, instead it might be more productive to focus on the people that you do reach, encouraging and equipping them with the knowledge to reach out to people within their own reach, kind of like a supply train sort of approach to reaching out that way. Because the fact of the matter is, these men on the far right, they're not going to listen to women, but they will listen to men. So if you equip the men in your life with the knowledge and encourage them to reach out to other men, it's more likely to sink in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It totally makes sense. And that's like the reason why I always take an Andrew call. It's like that same thought where I'm like, well, if we get one person that will listen, even if not all of it sinks in or any of it sinks in, like you just never know who else it might reach. So I think that definitely makes sense. And I also agree that I don't think that the men who are like really in the manosphere side of life are going to listen to women. But I also wonder, and I'm curious of your opinion on this, because so much of what's going on with men's mental health and the manosphere and the loneliness epidemic is related to the way that men and women are treating each other. Like it's a lot of like, I mean, it's like incel culture is tied into all of this, and so the relationships between women and men are kind of at the center of it. And I wonder like how much how like I wonder if what our role could potentially be is how do we start talking to women about how we can better like support what's happening here, you know, because the men are really not going to want to listen.
Yeah, so I think that's a tricky question, and like you can always go the route of, oh, support the men in your life who are being curious, who are like, I have questions about this. I believe this, but I want to hear other people's takes. Encouraging that can be really helpful. But at the end of the day, there's these men in those incel and manosphere spaces. They're not approaching from curiosity. Really, no matter how supportive the woman is, it's a two-way street. They need to come to the women as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you get the men engaged into having an open mind and asking questions, kind of like how Andrew is. Like, Andrew at least is asking questions and seems to be taking some of it on board. Like, that's when the interaction with women and men, I think, is the most, when it can actually happen, is when the men are meeting us, essentially. So I do agree that women can have a role in this, but I think we first need to get the men on board, because most women are already on board with this for the most part. They're just getting frustrated because the men aren't on board. So if we get the men on board, then the women can join and have a conversation, I think. What are your thoughts, either of you, about that?
Now, Taylor, what do you think?
I think you first.
Hello?
And then I will go.
Okay, so what I think is, I think that there are some women who are on board, but I do think that there is like a huge chunk of women who feel very, very much a part of the conversation of like, fuck the men and I don't care, and you need me more than I need you, and so I don't care to even get on your level with it. And I think that is, while I think that some of it is like completely understandable and based on experiences that make a lot of fucking sense to me. Like, I would love to be able to be like, this is not our responsibility, and we figured it out, you figure it out now. And I've said that on previous calls, where we've talked about the male loneliness epidemic, and I've said, women figured it out, you guys need to figure it out. And my opinion on that has evolved, because I think that it's just not going to work that way. And recently I was sitting in a lecture, and it was about how people are dating in 2025, and it was something like 2 out of 5 women are not, I think it was 2 out of 5 women are not interested in dating at all. Like, they just don't care right now. And a large percentage of those women cited safety as the reason. They don't feel safe. They don't feel safe with other men, and they also don't feel safe with the access to healthcare that they may or may not have. So like, if you're going to be dating people and you're having sex and you're in a state where you can't get an abortion, or that access is limited, or even your access to like birth control and healthcare is limited, that type of thing is really deterring people from wanting to date at all. So yeah, I think that there is unfortunately a shared responsibility that we have as human beings, that we have to find a way to meet somewhere in the middle, even though we shouldn't have to. We do have to. I understand why people don't want to, but I think that we do. And I think that that's going to be really important, because women are 50% of the population. And if a bunch of them don't want to interact with men at all, then, that's a problem. It's a problem for the landscape of socializing. So I think that we have to get it from both sides. Like, if we can find men who are providing some level of like mentorship, even if it's like from a social media platform. And they're able to explain and describe like what healthy masculinity can look like, or just like healthy behavior for men can look like, then we're in a good spot. And then on top of that, if we can also have some women soften their approach so that, you know, there's some level of support there too, that's great as well. I don't know if that totally made sense. I think it did.
It makes sense to me. Sorry, Taylor was going to talk next. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like it's like difficult because the thing that's like hurting men the most is the patriarchy, which like women have been fighting against for a long time. So I feel like maybe that's also a reason that women get frustrated whenever, like, I guess men are complaining about things that come from the patriarchy. But I do think they deserve like help and deserve people who want to, like, better the problem. But I feel like that is maybe something causing like, well, there's a lot of things, but one of the things causing like, F you guys, like, I don't want to deal with it, is because like we already deal with it in different ways. And now it's like hurting them, I guess. Or, I mean, it has always hurt them, but I feel like the way the world is progressing, they're realizing it's like not sustainable in the society we're living in. And they're going every which way, like confused of what to do or falling down the wrong pipelines, which is unfortunate. And I feel like I never knew the answer as to like how exactly to improve it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, Alyssa, I definitely agree that women do need to be involved with it, but I think it needs to be a more gradual. I think it needs not necessarily that you're suggesting that it shouldn't be gradual, but I think it being a gradual process is the best way to do it, in which the women who are up to interacting with men and supporting them at the moment do that, encourage those women to do that. And then on the other side, get the men, encourage them to like interact with the women as well, and also to look after their mental health and that sort of thing. And by encouraging the men to kind of like think about mental health, think about empathy, those things like that, that will make the space safer, and therefore will make more women willing to go, okay, I'm willing to interact with men. And then that will lead to more interactions, which will lead to more men encouraging more men to do mental health and that. And therefore, as the safety increases, the women will get more and more involved, I think. It's
Yeah,
my personal experience.
ideally, yeah. I just don't know like how. Oh, just tossed my phone across the room. I just don't know how easily we can break through to that group of people. It's like it feels so
Which group?
impenetrable at times. Like the men who are being exposed to that like manosphere type content and like kind of what we would call toxic masculinity content. I don't really like breaking through to them. Like from our perspective, it feels like, okay, let's set them up for success. Let's give them better social programs and mentorship and whatever. And, you know, I want that so badly to work. And at the same time, it's like 75% of the men who go on the internet come across manosphere content, and 68% of them were not looking for it. It just finds them anyway. And then this community of people who are saying that nothing is your fault. And then there's it's such an uphill battle. And we don't have a choice. Like we have to find a way to break through all of it. But it's like, it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And So here comes into like some suggestions that I think will help break through based on what I've observed. Is I find that like kind of the first step to reaching these men is you need to link physical safety and mental safety. And you use that using suicide because I think most men, especially if they're doing trade work, they are thinking about like physical safety and like being like, I'm not sure what it's called in America, but I think it's OSHA compliant sort of thing. So there's already
Yeah.
safety in that sort of thing. If we then go like, well, just like you take care of the work site and you make sure that's safe, you also need to make your mind safe because that can cause hazards such as suicide and self-harm. And so once we get them thinking about mental safety in the same way that they think about physical safety, that's starting to get them to be more introspective and like thinking about their own thinking. And then what we do is we need to foster a place where they feel like they're surrounded by like-minded men, but they're not necessarily, but they are also talking about mental health. So, for example, something I've seen happening in Australia is there are these things, they are men's retreats, and they talk about like we're getting back to nature, where it's a bunch of men getting together and being men. But when the actual retreat comes into it, it does involve those things, but it also involves getting them to support each other emotionally and mentally. It's getting, so they kind of, I don't want to call it a trick, but it's kind of like they're using
Bait and
the
switch.
terminology. They're using the terminology that is used in the manosphere to get these people coming there. And once they get there, then we can like link that terminology up to mental health in the same way that you would link physical safety to mental safety. And I've found that to be really effective way to get them. And then, yeah, it's just a very slow and gradual process. We kind of need like a reverse alt-right pipeline where we get the men that look like manly men, encouraging people to talk about suicide, to talk about mental health, and get them in. And then you can get, once they've started thinking about those things, and then, yeah, then the women can get involved because now these men are showing like emotional maturity and empathy.
Yeah, I've seen, I actually have had some family members do retreats like that where it's like they went to, I think, like Costa Rica or something, and I don't know what they did when they went, but they had a really nice time and made some really great friendships and whatever. And there was a show, I definitely shared this before, where there was a professor that I saw lecture about the male clients that he treats who deal with a lot of the like masculinity stuff, and he'll tell them, instead of telling them that if he thinks that person needs to like cry it out, what he'll tell them instead is that they need to complete the stress cycle, which is the same thing, but it's the shift in phrasing that makes it's sort of like what you're saying for these retreats where you're kind of bait and switching. But it's you are and you aren't. You're just you're shifting some of the language and really kind of saying the same thing, but it's gonna land differently, like you're presenting it in a different way. It's that same thing of like, how do we package it so that it actually reaches the people it needs to reach? So yeah, that definitely should be part of it. And there are, as I've been like thinking about this, I'm trying to collect a little list of people that I think are really good mentors or influencers in this space that present. Oh my god, sorry. I thought about yawning and then I yawned. That was a mistake. Sorry. But so yeah, I've been thinking about these. Sorry, Taylor, I made you yawn too. I've been thinking about the people that we can start to like sort of collect a list of people who are like really great examples of balanced balanced behavior, and they are men, um balanced healthy behavior, who also present like traditional masculine men, because it really just feels like it's gonna all be in the presentation. Like there's no way that
Yeah.
we're gonna get a guy who like has a mustache and a mullet and lives in Brooklyn and like, like is vegan. That guy's not going to reach the manosphere people. But somebody who like lives in the woods, there's this guy Thorin Bradley, he's on TikTok, and he does he Taylor, does he follow you too? I bet he does.
Oh, I haven't checked, but I would be amazed if so.
Okay.
I'd be happy.
I wouldn't be surprised. But he got popular on TikTok for literally chopping trees. Like he's jacked and very like masculine man vibes. And he talks a lot about masculinity. He talks a lot about like what's going on in the political landscape. People like that, I think, would be awesome. And I'm so glad he's continuing to make content. Because I think we need some of that. Sorry, I made half the chat yawn.
I also feel like I've been seeing that more and more recently, like on social media. I don't know if it's just TikTok because like I feel like TikTok is more progressive more than like any other app really. So it's hard to really gauge like our society. But I keep thinking about the fact that maybe the biggest change will be how like the next generations raise their sons, because I see so many things about how moms have been trying really hard, well, parents in general have been trying really hard to keep an eye out if their son is consuming red pill content. And like I've seen a lot of women online talk about catching their sons like going down these like rabbit holes and these like communities, which I think is really interesting, and it makes me feel like it's going to have a lot to do with like these next generations coming up and how they deal with all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I I'm in Australia, obviously. I am seeing also a lot of like these guys who are like, bro, take care of your bro, talk to each other, and that sort of thing. Like, we almost need to like masculinize the terminology in mental health. Like, in the same way that like in like advertising, you see like shaving cream for men, and men are more likely to buy that. We need to like package mental health in like a stereotypical masculine way, I feel.
Yeah. It's about the packaging. It's sort of like I say sometimes that some of the content I make about, especially around like sexuality, I say it feels like a spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down type of vibe. And I feel like that's kind of what you do. It's like you have to package it in a way that will make it enticing for the people who need to hear it the most. It's like when you give your dog medicine and you have to put it in peanut butter. It's that. It's like, but somehow we will get through to this community of people. But I want to be mindful of time because we do have some theists who called in, and we have to have a hard stop in a little less than an hour so that we can watch the New York City mayoral race results come through. So, Joe, we're gonna let you go, but I appreciate this conversation so much, and it'll be ongoing. So I look forward to continuing this conversation with you.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. One quick thing I do want to just say, it's going to be a slow, gradual process in conclusion.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's frustrating, but we can get through it.
We could do it. I believe in us. Thank you so much, Joe. Have a good rest of your
Thank you,
night.
Joe.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was so nice. We always love hearing from Joe. So we have two theists that have called in. So we have options. Taylor, Do you have preference?
uh, probably Sam, just because
Okay.
I don't know who they are.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pull in Sam, who is calling in from Florida. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. So what did you want to talk about today?
Oh, well, I watch other programs that I guess associated with this channel, like about theism, and then like I was kind of surprised to see like the women hosting the show talking about how the male loneliness epidemic is a problem, and like I kind of couldn't understand why you would have that thought.
Why we would think it was a
What?
problem?
Yes.
Well, I think that we have it's hard to even think of like what direction to take this in, because part of me is like, well, when men are lonely, it affects everyone. Like
We have to live
I
in
don't want
society with them.
yeah, like we have to live with this community of people, and 50% of them are not only lonely, but they're making choices that affect the safety of the women around them. So like many times we've had these school shootings, and then we later find out that this person is a part of like incel communities. So it's just creating and mobilizing this group of men who are angry and who feel very rejected by women right now, but by sort of like a chunk of society. And so, and I think it's also like, we're human beings, and when we see a part of human beings hurting, I think it would be not very humanist of us to not acknowledge that. But it also is it's a safety thing too. Like those are that community of people has had language in that community that is misogynistic and oftentimes violent, and all of that is not so great either.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and that's why we talk about it
I just,
on this channel. And it also, I think because a lot of the loneliness stuff, when I have read about it or asked other men about it, a lot of it seems to ladder back up to feeling rejected in like the dating space. And so as women, and like I'm a sex educator, and the majority of my clients in the past year have been men. So not only are we participants in it because we are women and we contribute to the conversation that happens within other women, but I also am dealing with clients who are really struggling. Like they struggle with rejection. They have a hard time knowing when it's appropriate to approach other women, and they don't want women to feel unsafe, and so they feel like they can't say anything. But then they can't. Then they're not making connections with other people. So it's it affects us in all ways.
mhm. And I guess I have to take your word for it because I don't know, but you said something about how the school shooters be having a profile of what being lonely men.
We've heard a lot of the men who are like what's it called? The Tyler Robinson guy. We don't know for sure, but there were rumors about him being a groiper, which is like a part of the Nick Fuentes community. Like that's like a branch of the incel community. But we've heard of a handful of men who have done really violent things, and then we later find out that they are part of this like incel community. But even if it was, just Tyler Robinson or whatever, we hear over and over again that the male loneliness epidemic is such a problem. And so if it has to be a conversation that is getting some outreach from other from across the line. And we also know that like the rate of of suicide for men is really high too. Like there's just, it's an indication of a much bigger problem, and I don't think that it's very kind to ignore it because it does affect us all.
Well, not to sound like heartless, but I mean, hey, I'm a man myself, but I don't know, I would kind of just think like that would just be like natural selection, that you would just let them be lonely so they wouldn't be in the gene pool, and the leftovers would be, the good men.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like that only works if you don't have to like actively live in society with them like every day. Like obviously you can like limit your, I guess, interactions, but like I wish it were
If
that
they're lonely,
easy,
why would you
but I
see
don't
them?
think. Well, I mean, they
If
could be
they're
at your
around
job.
people,
They
how would they be
could.
lonely?
You can be lonely when.
Well,
Wait, I'm confused.
yeah, you can.
You can be lonely when being around people.
I just don't
Right?
see
Like,
when
I
you would
mean, there are
actually
plenty.
interact with someone like that.
You said, why would
I
we
think
interact with someone like that? Because you have to in certain instances. I mean, think about it. Like, college, school, like high school, a job. Maybe it's someone in your family. Maybe it is someone in your community. Like, it could be an endless list of things of how you're going to have to interact with them in our society. And if there's a lot of them, then that is an issue, I would think.
Sam, a lot of the people who are a part of the male loneliness like people who identify with male loneliness, not all of them, many of them are people who are just sort of unsure of the landscape of socializing in general, but many times with women. There are also there's this group of people who are identifying as being really lonely, who are part of this incel community. These are people who consume content like from Andrew Tate and the Whatever podcast and Fresh and Fit and all this kind of stuff. And those are podcasts that when we take a look at the content that they're creating, they are pretty explicitly violent and misogynistic towards women, but also like they're creating this conversation of like, you're not a real man if you don't this and this, and it's like just not progressive. It is creating a disconnect between what men are experiencing right now and being told to just like man up and like get your money up and get your body up, and it's like that's not helpful. These are people who are looking for support, and that's not going to be the thing that does it for them. So yeah, you can be around people every single day, but that you can still feel lonely at the end of it, because there's a difference between being around people and having real connections with people and having support from people.
I guess you would be a good person to tell me who would actually be a good role model, because I would think that advice would be solid. Like the guy at my job, basically, and like when there was another muscular guy, like, yeah, he did get all of the attention. And when you have money, like, yeah, you do get the attention. And
Yeah, so what's interesting about that is what we've seen happen now is, well, I'll say before this, for a really long time, men have defined a lot of their value, which is kind of what you're describing now. They've defined so much of their value based on what they can provide, like what they bring to the table. And that a lot of the times is their career, the money that they bring home. And so now we're in a position where women are out earning degrees. Like we're going to have almost twice as many women are having master's and bachelor's degrees than men do. 7 out of 10 valedictorians are women. So women are outpacing men in categories that are going to make it really hard for men to continue to hold that value. And so now, once you've taken this huge piece of of how men are defining who they are off the table, like no longer is your primary value in the household the money that you bring in, because now you have, first of all, in the US, it's really hard to have a single income household. So many times women are also contributing to what the money is financial, or what the financial situation is for your household. But you also have women who are out achieving men in a lot of ways too. So, now men are being forced to redefine what their value is. And that's where I think we're having a hard time, and where there's like a little bit of a disconnect. I think that's like a big part of the whole thing, is like we did a really good job unraveling the parts of what we call toxic masculinity, which is just bad behavior. But we've basically been able to identify and say, these are the things that we think are toxic, that are tied to like what we see men do habitually. But we didn't really do a great job of then encouraging men to look beyond that. It's like, okay, well, so if my main function is not to bring home money, then what is my function in the house? Like, what is that going to look like now? And we didn't really do a good job of supporting young men in that.
It still seems to be the case. That's still how things work. Like, that's why I asked you, like, what would actually be the thing? Because it still seems like if you have muscles, if you have money, that does make you the most popular. And I guess, like you pointed out, that it's getting harder to out-earn women. But, I mean, for the guys who still are big earners, it's still a big winner for them. They will get the women. They won't be lonely.
Are we talking about being popular, or are we talking about like creating meaningful relationships for people?
What if you don't have the money or muscles? You won't have any relationship at all. I don't know. Maybe
That's
I'm
not
wrong.
true.
I think even if sorry, go ahead, Taylor.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I've known many a women who have unfortunately dated a guy for a very long time who didn't even have a job, or was unemployed for like months at a time or years at a time. So months is not long, sorry, years at a time. So I disagree. I feel like women are like, I don't know, do that stuff pretty often from what I've seen. I'm not gonna say all the time, but I see it.
I'll tell you, Sam, they just did a survey of thousands of people in the US that are single people in the US, and they found that the most desirable trait that both men and women were looking for was honesty. That's what they wanted more than any other trait that was listed there. And they also found that when they had men and women talk about the traits that they were most prioritizing, men were more focused on the way that, or they prioritized higher what a woman looks like, more so than the women did in that survey. So I think it's kind of like, I think that there's a story being presented to us that's not really true. And actually, Sam, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I can tell you anecdotally, like I've also had a similar experience to Taylor, where I've seen many friends date someone who was not as pretty as I think that girl is, who doesn't have a job that I think would be able to support them both. So she's not dating him for his job. She's not dating him for his looks. God, I hope he has a good personality, because what else is there? But I don't think that is true across the board. I think it's like a weird, I think it's a messaging issue. Like it's a conversation that happens within the men more than anything else, that women want men who are like muscly and make a lot of money and whatever. Like, yeah, I guess if the person that is my soulmate also makes a lot of money and also has like a rockin' bod, whatever that means for you, then that's great. But if we're all going to get old. We're all going to get old. We're all going to get wrinkly and pruny and ugly. Who cares what anyone looks like, you know? So I think that the messaging that you need to have all of those things is based on other men insisting that that's the case.
I see those men have a lot of success.
Do they though? Because like when you look at
What is
like
success
Andrew
ones I
to
Tate,
know.
you?
I'm thinking about some
What is
specific men
success?
in my life, and they have lots of success.
Like what?
Oh, the success is big friend group and women.
So it's successful to you if they have a lot of women around.
Well, I also said big friend group too. They usually will have a bigger friend group, and will have girlfriends, a wife.
but I think if that's what's happening, then I think that that's part of like, if they have a big friend group, that means that other men cared about them having money and them having muscles and them having those things. It's either other men cared so much about that they want to be their friend, or that man understands that they have those things and it's made them more confident. So there could be a kind of like a couple of reasons for that, but it's entirely possible that this person knows that they have this like social currency, so they put themselves out there more. And they like, I've actually, if we're speaking anecdotally, I had a client, actually I've had a bunch of clients, but there's one that I'm thinking of in particular who is so incredibly kind, so funny, has a great job, and he felt like, and he moved to a new city and lived there for a couple of years and was having a really hard time making friends. And then we would have these conversations where I'm digging in with him, and it turns out that like he's not really going out, like he's not really putting himself out there. I'm like, well, how are you going to find friends if you're not going out and putting yourself out there? And it's a confidence issue. In his mind, he's like, I don't, I'm not physically presenting in the way that other people think is favorable, and my job is interesting, but it's not like I'm a millionaire. And so then people are just not putting themselves out there. So I think part of what the biggest conversation when we're talking about masculinity and the male loneliness epidemic is the way that men treat each other in their own community, because I think that they are the ones who are telling this story of, you need to be jacked, you need to have a great, like, super high paying job to make you valuable. I think that's a story that's internal. Like, I don't think that women care as much. Actually, and
Someone said
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, someone said in the chat, a sense of humor is highly underrated. And I have to say that's so true. That's literally that's the exact reason I first started talking to my husband, is because he made me laugh constantly. That was like the number one thing that started it off. So I think people underestimate like those character traits a lot. Like I don't know. I know a lot of women who, if like a guy can get them laughing all the time, it's like a big deal and they love it. And it's something they really love about men. So if they can find funny men, not saying there aren't many, but you know what I'm saying. And yeah, I think that person's right. People underestimate those qualities that women are looking for.
Wouldn't that still just be the exception? And like for the most part, like I
No.
mean, I only have a limited set of anecdotes, but like, yeah, if you just build you the muscles, well then okay, even if it's you just having the confidence because you have muscles, well then it's still practical to just, hey, build you some muscles and then you go out there.
But I think that's also, if people feel that, if men feel that way, like they really feel like their confidence is coming from the physicality or from like what the money that they have, that is them evaluating their value to other men much of the time. It's like you're measuring yourself up against other men. And I don't think that women are requesting that as much as men think that they are. And you can see, like, you know, there are going to be people, there are far more people who are funny and don't have a lot of money than there are people who have a ton of money. Those people, like, yeah, like they exist, but if that was the key to getting women, then most of the US, at least, most of the world would not have women. They would not
Sam,
ever find anybody.
Sam, I also want to say, what about the fact that the dad bod became such a big deal? Why do you think that was? It's because they want to spend their life with someone who they think they can have fun with, and that like won't judge them or expect them to be perfect or whatever it might be. That's been a whole thing for a reason, is because it like they attribute certain like characteristics to that. So that kind of like speaks to the opposite of what you're saying. Obviously, these are generalizations, but I would not say it's an exception.
Well, I guess I'll just ask again, for like who really is the model? Because like, yeah, I have not seen it fail. Like I have not met a muscular man who was not popular with the ladies, and when I was more muscular myself, I had more success. So I don't know. It
I'm
still
confused.
really seems like.
Are you saying the guy has to not like be fit? I'm confused at what you're saying. Like, can you describe what you're exactly talking about? Because go ahead.
Oh, I was trying to say, like, I have never seen it fail. Like, I've never seen a fit guy who wasn't popular with the ladies, who didn't have, you know, the women nearby just whispering compliments about him. I've never seen that before. Like, I never just seen like a jack guy, and he's just like, he's lonely. Like, nobody wants to talk to him, and I never seen that.
I have met many men who are very built and have extreme issues with getting girlfriends. Like, I miss too often. Because a lot of them, if they don't work on their like social skills, or they have, let's say, like, I don't know, really bigoted beliefs, like it ends up being hard for them. It doesn't matter what they look like.
One of them who I'm thinking of, he's a major Trumper, thinks what ICE is doing is perfectly great. And yes, he's jacked. He has the women. I don't know. We just have two very different experiences, I guess. But I guess yours count a whole lot more than mine.
I think it's good though to share this experience that you're having, because you are a man, and so like and that's sort of the point of all of it, is like we're women and we're telling you that I don't think I've ever dated anyone who was like jacked, that was like muscular, and I don't think I've ever dated anyone. Yeah, I've never dated anyone who made significantly more than me. But I have dated people.
Me neither.
I've quite literally dated a comedian. Like I've, so actually I've dated two literal comedians. Wow, that's actually really funny to think about. But I think that it's interesting, Sam, to share this, because your experience as a man is that those things are important, and our experience as women is that they aren't. And like that's sort of like the point. It's like I think that it's an internal thing. It's like this internal message that men are seeing and feeling that I don't think is like super clear. It's kind of like if I tell you that I never see red cars on the road. When I'm driving next, I will see 800 million red cars because I'm looking for them. And so I think that even in that case, it might be a situation where you're seeing this guy who like is the representation of being successful, and that's the person whose eye you're drawn to in the room. You're not like necessarily looking at all of the other people who may be there.
Okay. Well, you mentioned the channels that I shouldn't be looking at, Fresh and Fit, and I just saw them. Oh, I just saw their name on my suggested. I've never seen their videos before, but who would you suggest for being a male model?
I would say I need to think of like of who podcast wise would be great. I mean, all of the hosts on the line, we have like primarily male hosts on the line. And they all are really wonderful and really smart and interesting people. And so checking out anyone on here could be really fun. A lot of them have their own individual channels too, where they talk about different things. We were talking earlier about Thorin Bradley. I don't think he has a podcast, but he makes content on TikTok. There's another guy, his Instagram and TikTok are good trouble. I love his content. I think he's really awesome. Taylor, can you think of any others?
I was gonna say, like, do they have to be like podcasters or on social media? Because you could just like also be inspired by like, I mean, we keep talking about Mondani, and the reason I bring him up is because I feel like he does a really good job of being like a he's a man who is, I don't know, just not afraid to be himself. He seems very kind. He seems very empathetic. So, and like in my mind, I'm just like, why can't they look up to people like that as well? I feel like that makes the most sense. I'm not sure why we always have to like look up to podcasters or like, I know maybe that's just what we're talking
I
about, but
didn't
I
say
feel like maybe that's
podcasters.
part of the problem. I know, but we keep talking about social media. It's not just you. It's just the conversation. But I feel like that's like part of the problem because most social media, most social media platforms are dominated by conservatives. So you're going to see that. Like that's just normal. I think the only place that isn't is on TikTok. So yeah, you're very likely to see that stuff more than maybe the opposite.
So
Oh yeah,
I'm
Major
wrong if
Pascal's
I'm
a good
just
one too.
when I get into conservative territory, I know I'm going in the wrong direction.
So we
Yeah.
slowly back away from the computer. I saw a statistic. Actually, I read it again earlier today that men who have mentors, young men who have mentors in their life, men who don't have any mentorship in their life from another man are more likely to be incarcerated than they are to go to college. Isn't that crazy? So like the value of mentorship is so important, whether that's like, from a podcaster or from a parent or a teacher or, whatever, however that might look for you. I think that makes a big difference. But we have a hard stop today, and I think we want to try and get some other super chats and things like that in before we finish our show today. So Sam, we're going to let you go, but feel free to call back anytime.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you,
know I
Sam. Have a
sound
good rest
jealous
of your
about
night.
my coworkers. Thank you. Good night.
No, not at all. All right, have a good night, Sam. That's really funny. Okay, so did I just like disappear and come back?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Sorry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good.
I can't hear Taylor, which is
Yeah,
why.
Taylor's muted.
Okay. As long as she's muted and it's
Yeah.
not. Okay. I accidentally pressed the bookmark that I have for thesimsresource.com, which is where I get my custom content for The Sims. So that's the page that I accidentally went to. So we are coming up on time because at 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern. So in about 30 minutes, Jimmy and Jovan are going to go live to watch the mayoral race. So we have to wrap up very soon. And we don't really have that many super chats, but we do have a call that is waiting for us that I know you guys are all really looking forward to. And so we have two calls that are actually that we can take. And let's vote via super chat. Do we want to take an Andrew call or do we want to take a call that's not an Andrew call. Let's see the super chats voting. Let's get them in, guys. Let's get them in. Before this, we had like only 9 super chats. 9?
Dang, we're struggling. It's because everyone gave their money for your birthday.
Yeah, which was really nice. Which was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
Let's get some votes in. Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Like, it just cracks me up. The chat is always so funny. Let's see.
I like the messy person in here saying Andrew for the chaos.
For the chaos. Listen. One of them is like, just take the Andrew call. It's so funny. Well, it's always like, you know, when this was a very chill day on Chewed Gum.
Yeah.
So, you know, okay. So I think we need to make our decision very soon because we don't have that much
totally
time.
even.
No way.
Someone. Oh, what was that? Oh, is it really?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 1 more minute, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do today for the rest of our wonderful Chewed Gum call.
I like how one person is like one last Andrew. Forever or for tonight?
Forever.
Let us know.
Okay. Let's see.
I think it's actually winning to take Andrew.
As
far as the super chats.
I know. Okay.
What better?
We'll have to limit it to like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of time.
Someone said, what better birthday present for Alyssa than to take an Andrew call?
Do it. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's pull in our friend Andrew. Hi, Andrew.
How y'all doing? You know,
good. How are you?
I felt I'm good. I felt the energy from the spirit bomb, coming my way. So,
you felt a tingle. You felt the tingle.
I Yeah. I want to address something that the last caller said. Y'all said that muscles have very little to do with a man being successful with women, right?
I think in our anecdotal experience, I don't really care, and I don't really know many people who do.
Yeah, me neither.
I want to ask a question. If you had 2 men, they both got the same personality, right? One of them was Henry Cavill, and one of them was Stephen Miller. Which one would you pick?
Ugh, Stephen Miller looks like a worm.
Well, Andrew, that doesn't do anything for the argument though, because all you're asking is if like, would you date the same if they were both the same person, one of them looks better. Like obviously someone's gonna pick who they're attracted to if they both have the same personality, but that isn't the point of like what we're saying at all.
Okay. Let's say if Stephen Miller has a nice personality, and Henry Cavill, he got the stereotypical bad boy douchebag personality. Which one would you pick?
Stephen Miller.
Not Stephen Miller because he scares me.
Not literally Stephen Miller, but I would rather take a person who's nice. He looks like a fucking Dementor.
Okay, Andrew, you win. I would never pick Stephen Miller, okay? I'm afraid of what he's going to do to this country.
No, I'm saying let's say take the politics out of it. He just looks like Stephen Miller.
I can't take it. I can't take it
out. I like, what if it's like Steve Buscemi or Henry Cavill?
Like when you mentioned what's his name, Thorne Bradley. Thorne Bradley got a big following because he's a very good looking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a very good-looking guy.
Like,
But
like,
he also
yeah.
But why
he also has really good content about his views, and he's risked followers to share that.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
how he built
and like
community.
that's how he built his community. And
Yeah,
I've said to him before that that what I appreciate the most about his content is that he has so much integrity. He has a platform and has decided to have so much integrity with it that he will risk this platform that he built off of knowing that he's a hot guy, to be able to say, hey, something is up with what's going on right now, and we as a community need to talk about it. Like that is the part of him that, in my opinion, makes him much more like, I didn't follow him before he started making that content.
Yeah, same.
I followed him
Yeah,
after
like,
he started
I-
talking about real stuff.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure most women follow him because he's attractive. I'm pretty sure. No, I could be wrong,
Maybe.
but I'm pretty confident that most women, like when you said women, they value. You said that they did studies, and they said women value intelligence over looks. Men more likely to value looks. But I think when they ask women these questions, they're thinking of the personality, but on a good-looking guy. They're not imagining ugly dudes when they ask women these questions.
What they found in the survey is that both men and women rated honesty as the most important quality. And when they compared how men and women felt about their partners physically, men rated rated looks and attractiveness higher than women did. So it's not that it's not important to women. Of course, it's important to everybody, but it would appear to be more important to men than it is to women.
But when I think men value looks, I don't even think it's that big of a gap. Like I think the gap when it comes to looks, I think it's very small. It's not like, men value looks at 90% and women value looks at like 20%. I think if men value looks at 90%, I think women are like at like 85%.
I disagree, but also I want to say that I feel like we're talking about two different things, like you and the last caller, where you're like, oh, guys who look good get the women. When you say that, like,
they do.
I feel like I'm talking about something completely different than you. I feel like I'm talking about like good, healthy, long, sustainable relationships. And you guys are talking about getting women, which is just like, it's just about sex. So yes, it's going to be based off of their attractiveness to somebody else. But like, I feel like we're just not even talking about the same things because like, yeah, if it's about sex, someone's going to go after the person who looks good. When it comes to long-lasting, healthy relationships, that's going to be a different story. So I just feel like we're like, at least I'm not on the same page as you. I don't think we're talking about the same thing.
Well, I do think I do think good-looking people. It's just that the better looking you are, the less likely you are able to. I mean, the less likely you're going to be and be faithful. Like most good-looking dudes are cheaters. Like, let's just be honest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, most of those guys.
Okay, but if good-looking men are cheaters, then why would any woman want to date them? Like, why would that sounds awful? No one's gonna want to date them
because the lust overrides their rationality.
Not in a long-term relationship, Andrew.
Not in a long-term
relationship. That only lasts so long.
I also am thinking about how funny it is that like the person that I hooked up with before I met my current boyfriend is by far the most attractive person I've ever hooked up with in my life. Like, he is like indisputably gorgeous. Like, was on a TV show.
Where are the ugly guys at, Alyssa?
He's gorgeous. Wait, let me finish, Andrew. Gorgeous. And then we we were just talking, and I'm like, oh my God, like we have nothing in common. Like he's super active. Like he spent the whole, like we had breakfast and he was spending the whole breakfast about talking to me about scuba diving. Like I would rather eat fucking glass than scuba dive. That sounds horrible to me. So it didn't go any further than that. And he's beautiful, but our personalities like don't mesh. So I moved on. And I found my current partner, and he looks nothing like that guy, and I love him so much. And I'm gonna marry the one that I'm with now.
Okay, well, can I see a picture of him? What does he look like? What does his face look like?
See who?
Which
one?
Your current boyfriend. Because I'm pretty sure he's not ugly. The current one that you're with now.
No, of course he's so cute.
She didn't call him ugly.
I dropped my phone, so I can't. Yeah, I can't grab it. Yeah, but that's also subjective. Like, there are going to be some people who will not agree. Like it's subjective always.
And listen, I highly doubt that even most women would say that your boyfriend is not good looking. I highly doubt. I don't believe.
I agree, and I definitely have had the experience of dating somebody and then afterwards having my friends be like, "We didn't want to say anything, but whatever."
I've had that. I've literally had that said to me so many times, and it also really bothered me because everybody thinks attractiveness is one thing, where to me, I literally am not like. I can say someone, like, I can't think someone's attractive unless I see their personality, and, like, it just changes everything for me. And there has been so many people I've dated where when I first met them, I genuinely didn't find them attractive. And then I spent, like, more and more time with them, and I, like, really liked them. That's just how my brain works. And I think that happens to a lot of girls. The girls I know, I have never had a friend who like dates based off of a guy's like muscles. Like I've never I know it's probably different in different like areas or like whatever, but like just I have never seen it.
Yeah, but we can agree that when it comes to attractiveness is not even all that subjective. Like we all know that a person with a nice chiseled jawline, nice eye area, nice full head of hair.
We're talking about you being attracted to them, though.
No, I'm saying
and it's not
objectively more attractive than a turkey chin old 75-year-old.
Nope, it'll never be. It'll never be objective. What? We have had so many different beauties. Andrew, Andrew, shut up. We have had so many different beauty standards throughout history. Like men were the first ones that wore makeup. Now, would you think that that's attractive for a guy now, Andrew? Would that be your definition of objectively handsome? Probably not.
I don't think they wore makeup in the same way
women's bodies have went in and out of style all throughout history. They like it's just there's so many things. You can't ever say that like it's always going to be objective. That is just not true.
You know what's a funny example, Andrew?
I hear a lot of progressives. Yeah,
you know what's a funny example? And we do need to be mindful of time because we're actually. Oh, Andrew, did you vote today?
Oh God, I hope not.
For New Jersey?
Yeah.
I voted for my boy Jack Ciattarelli.
Okay, I don't actually know who's running in New Jersey, but I'm glad that you voted in general today. Okay, so a really funny example is that I love Pride and Prejudice. I love that story so much. I love the movie that came out in 2005. The guy who plays Mr. Darcy, I remember the first time I saw Pride and Prejudice, I was so disappointed because I was like, ugh, really? Like I did not think because in the story, I was anticipating him from the book, I was anticipating him being like really, really handsome, and it just like was not the version of handsome that I was thinking of. And then I watched the movie and I just was like, I don't get it. Like, why would anyone be so stressed about this Mr. Darcy guy. Like, he is not cute. And then I watched the movie like a few times, and then honestly, it's his personality, it's the yearning, it's the, like, it's, do you know what I'm talking about, Taylor?
Well, I was gonna say, Charlie from Twilight. I see so many girls say this about Charlie from Twilight.
Yes.
What's her name's dad? And they're like,
Bella
now
Swan's
watching it as an
dad.
adult. I think
Wait,
that like so
who's
many
Charlie
people say,
from
I think the
Twilight?
dad's so odd now.
The dad.
Who's? Okay. Yeah. Well, even Edward. The only reason why that movie was popular was because of Edward. And he was a 3,000-year-old vampire dating some 16-year-old girl.
Now Andrew. Now we're talking about like movies. I don't know, like.
Well, you
but also,
actually,
no, but I'll continue with the Twilight example. When I was in high school, I thought that Edward Cullen was so cute. As an adult now, I think that he's so weird looking in that movie. Like, in no fucking world would I ever, as an adult, think that is an attractive. But
wait, what
adult.
about
like, I think
with or without
so
the
weird.
sparkly skin?
Both. Sparkles or no sparkles, I'm not into it. But Charlie, Mr. Swan,
Alyssa, that makes sense.
Mr. Swan can get it though, and I did not think that in high school.
Who?
Charlie Swan, Bella's dad.
Wait, you said Mr. You said something from before with Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy. You said something about how he looks or something like that?
Yeah, if you look up like the 2005 Pride and Prejudice movie, the actor's name is, I feel so bad, this poor guy's catching a stray. His name is Matthew McFadden. He was just not what I was expecting the character to look like, and I just like couldn't understand why this. I was like, this guy? This is who we're stressing out about? This guy? But I watched it a few times, and then I was like, okay, I get it. Like it's the story around him. It's like the character. It's the backstory. It's all these other things, and it made me really like him. And now I'm like obsessed with it. But I couldn't understand why other people would share there's like one scene in Pride and Prejudice where he like flexes his hand because he touches the other, whatever, it doesn't matter. That scene was everywhere because people were like, oh my God, Mr. Darcy. And then I saw him and I was like, this guy? Really? But I get it now. Like, I watched it and I understand it now. But I didn't get it when I just like.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but Mr. Guy, I see the picture of the guy that played Mr. Darcy. Alyssa, he's not ugly.
In the movie,
he's
though?
He's not ugly, Alyssa.
Doesn't that show that attractiveness
he's not no balding
subjective?
Fat guy.
But
you're talking about the extremes.
It's subjective.
You're talking about these. Yes, it's subjective, and it's also you're always talking about the extremes, Andrew. Like, obviously, if I'm talking, if anyone has an option between two people that have exactly the same personalities, and one is exactly their physical type, and then the other one is exactly the opposite of their physical type, they're going to go for the one who has the physical type, that makes sense for them. But it's not possible that two people are going to have exactly the same personalities. And that's what makes the difference. It's people's personalities. It's who you are.
Yeah, of course.
Not how you look. Like, that will take you so far.
No, I'm just saying, I like the last dude. Yeah, of course. Well, I'm just saying, like the last dude said, I've never seen, guys who are, conventionally good looking, or with I think women like guys with muscle, but they don't like guys who are like steroid kind of like muscle. They like the more athletic kind of. They want a guy with muscle, but more athletic, like an NBA player look or something like that. So
I don't know.
Like, I get
my boyfriend is very skinny.
Like with the dad bod, like when I hear a lot of women say, "Oh, the dad bods are junk. The dad bods are junk." And then when you ask women what's a picture of a dad bod that they like, they bring up Jason Momoa. That's not a dad bod. Jason Momoa is in shape.
Yeah, that's funny.
Nobody's saying that's a
Yeah.
dad bod.
Yeah. A dad bod is like, he got titties, he got a beer gut, he got like, he's like something like that. Like, Jason Momoa don't got no dad bod.
I agree that Jason Momoa is not a dad bod. I think we have some like weird warped perception of things in that way. But I also think it's hard to also talk about celebrities and things because first of all, we like always put celebrities on a pedestal. So like if we saw any of these celebrities in real life and we were like if Jason Momoa, even like in his best shape, was like part of my friend group or whatever, or like like I saw him at whatever social circles over and over again, and I think he's so handsome, but his reputation in the friend group is that he's a fucking asshole. No one in the friend group is gonna want to touch him. Like if his reputation is that he's a jerk, then like I'm not going there.
Fair enough. One last thing before you go, because I know you voted for. Yeah. One last thing before you go. I don't want you to miss your debate or whatever. But I wanted to ask, who was you voting for in New York?
So I am not registered in New York City, so I couldn't vote for Mamdani. But if I could have, that's who I would have voted for.
Same.
What about the communist Mamdani? Okay.
Oh my
God. Communist Mamdani.
Oh my God, that guy is going to destroy New York.
Girl, I hope the hell he does. I hope the hell he does. Don't get it.
I feel like your version. I feel like your version of destroy is like our dream. So I hope you think he's destroying it, or else like I won't be happy with what he does.
Yeah, you're gonna get it, all right. You're gonna get your dream, all right.
We'll see. I know he's gonna destroy it by giving us free buses.
Oh my gosh, don't give us the free buses.
Not the free buses.
If he gives us free buses, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, you ain't gonna have. You're gonna be on a free bus with some dude attacking you because you ain't gonna have no law enforcement.
He's repeatedly said he's not defunding the police. He's repeatedly said that over and over again.
You know who did defund the police, Andrew?
Okay. Oh.
You know who did defund the police? Trump, with his budget.
How you defund the police?
Okay, guys.
Hey, wait, and
I'm so sorry. We only have 5 minutes and we have to reach two shots. I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you for calling, Andrew. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for taking my call. Yeah.
Anytime. Bye-bye. Right. Sorry. I love that guy. Okay. We're going to run through these as quick as we can. $20 from Billy Cubed 4383. Oh my God, love God's Not Dead. When my buddies and I met in Vegas, I brought 5 copies of it to hand out. Imagine the look on TSA woman's face when she looked in my bag. Oh my God, can't imagine. That's really funny.
Oh my gosh. $5 from Sarah Talks Podcast. What do I have to do to get Alyssa at my wedding? Tell her you're invited to.
Oh my God. Literally,
so
invite me. I'll come. I went to a girl who watched The Circle invited me and my ex to her wedding in Alabama, and we dead ass flew there. We flew there. We went. I'm still friends with her. She's having a baby now. I'm so excited for her. I went. So Sarah, invite me. I will be there.
That's so funny.
$5 Australian from Primordial Puggles Heart. Thank you so much.
$10 from Alishana Silverboat. Alyssa talking herself into nihilism is so relatable. One of my favorite memories as a child was building sandcastles with granddad until my mother took the urn away. Oh my, hashtag dark humor.
Okay, also, but it's because I don't like to label myself very much. It stresses me out. So that's why I had to talk myself into it. £5 from Mystic Mind Analysis. With cold weather on the way, I wish everyone a pleasant, cozy sweater and or warm central heating season, depending on how you like to dress or not. Thank you so much.
Oh, wait, what? Oh.
That they wish us good weather.
I'm buffering. $10 from Pure Reformed 42. Creating your immorality forces you to think about it. I would much rather a thoughtful moral frame than a prescriptive moral abyss of contradiction. Yes.
Agreed. $5 from Coffee Mom. I'm working on a paper about the male loneliness epidemic. Is it actually an epidemic? Ha, no, but it should take me 4 to 6 pages to explain. Hashtag Team 4B. If you are actually writing that paper, send it to me. I want to read it. I can't tell if that was
$10 from the atheist. $10 from the atheist mechanic. I found a group on Facebook called the male loneliness epidemic isn't severe enough. Let's say some of these posts make let's just say some of these posts make Andrew look like a saint. Men need to do and be better. It would not be healthy for me to be a part of that group, I can tell you that.
No. That would ruin my mental health. $10 from Mason Maurizio 9195. Hey, it's glad to see. Okay, I'm glad to see you gals live. Always make sure to mention my favorite scripture, Numbers 31:9 through 18. God's goodness didn't seem to pertain to the 32,000 virgin girls given to the warriors. Right.
$9.99 from Outwitted by Fish. So are you saying that they even if I oh my god. So are you saying they even if I spend what's happening? $9.99 on Super Chat, neither of you is going to fall madly in love with me? Drat. Time to work on my sense of humor. It's okay. I cannot read.
10 Canadian dollars from Missing Zero. Show us the blanket, Taylor.
All right, real quick.
Ooh, where'd you get this?
It's a Pokemon blanket from Etsy where all the best things are made. And look, wait, I don't know if they're in this chat, but here's that Espeon for you.
Oh my god. Crazy. Okay. This is you, I think.
God, I don't know. Oh, okay, $10 from what?
Sapphic
something
Hazard.
Charizard? Sapphic Hazard? Why did I say Charizard? Oh my god, I'm trying to okay. Take Andrew's call, but give him a quiz at the end to make sure he listened. I need out of here.
Oh my god, that's so funny. $10 the atheist mechanic. Not Andrew. Thank you for your vote.
$4.99 from Ashley Ray, not to Andrew, yes to Taylor and Alyssa.
Thank you so much. $10 from Alice in Dr. Pepper. Andrew, call if you need. Just make him do BuzzFeed quizzes. Yeah, I saw that. Which BuzzFeed quizzes? Let me know which BuzzFeed quizzes you think we could do.
$5 from Ayla Ursus, not Andrew. Sorry.
Sorry. $5 from Fiona the Foxy. One last Andrew chat, and then, well, I don't know about that.
$10 from Calibrin1. What better birthday present for Alyssa than an Andrew call? Do it.
Yeah, girl.
Dreams came true.
$5 from Aaliyah Shauna Silverbow. Take Andrew. How do you make a blowjob OSHA compliant? You add a railing. Ayo, that's a good one.
$10 from Legally Mod. What is MTF?
Male to female.
Oh, okay. Was on the receiving end of drunk texts from my long-distance boyfriend for the first time the other night, and I have to admit it was pretty scary. He's the first man I've been open to. Yikes, I'm sorry.
That feels like you need to have a clearing conversation about that. $10 from the Kurt Price, Stephen Miller, and Buscemi. LOL, this chewed gum. Hear me out edition. Okay, no, I'm not. Both of those options are not for me.
$10 from Puriform 42. You've been here enough, Andrew. Enough with the feels. Bring the data. Yeah.
True. $10 from Raise a Village. Waiting for a friend to come down and help me drop my ballot in a box. I'm disabled and I'm chomping at the bit. Just want to say keep up the good work. Thank you. Excited for you to drop the ballot off.
$5 from Alishana Silverbow. Shut up, Andrew. Taylor 2025. True. I feel like Andrew's been told to shut up a lot.
I know. And he, for what it's worth, he always handles that pretty well. $5
Yeah.
from EB334. I think experiencing Tumblr in October, Kinktober, if you know, you know, would send Andrew into a tailspin crash
It
out.
would.
Period.
It would.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Okay, we're only 2 minutes over. Stay here because Jimmy and Jovan are gonna go watch the mayoral race stuff, so it'll redirect you automatically there. So thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Thank you to our screener Dragon and Luxander who produced for us tonight, all of our mods, and our Patreon peeps. Go to patreon.com/calltheline and become a patron so you can support this show and all of the other wonderful shows that we have.
Fingers crossed for the results.
Hopefully we get sexy Mom Donnie in office.
Communism. No, I'm just kidding. According to Andrew.